Alrighty. Let's dive right into this. Today was an incredible day, and yeah, so blessed to have this trading day. Like, geez, man, I'm gonna go right through it. But dude, today was a good day. Today was a good day. I did end up going break even on the trade that I did take, and I did learn from that trade. But my bias was completely correct for the day, and I'm super duper excited to share that with you guys. So let's get into it. So we're gonna start on the higher time frame, basically kind of looking at what was going on before market. If you look on both indexes, geez, I sound like a tour guide. If you look to your left, you whatever. Anyways, we were respecting this 4 hour gap, and then we were also respecting the same 4 hour gap on Nasdaq. If you look at the hourly, we were also respecting these gaps. We did inverse this one, but I wouldn't be concerned about that. Um, and then also we were doing the same thing, just respecting gaps. So all automatically just from that, my bias for the day was kind of bullish, and that was just because of that. And then, um, also there was this 4 hour gap right in between here and here, and then here and here. It looks super small because it was super small, and honestly, I believe right off the market open, ES had already inversed that, but Nasdaq was still kind of floating in it. I don't know. It didn't really concern me that much, but yeah. So automatically, we are respecting gaps everywhere here, and then we're respecting these hourly gaps here on both indexes. So then, if we look at the 15 minute, we can also see that we are extremely bullish on the 15 minute. We have gaps right here getting inverse, and then it's better on Nasdaq, I believe. Yeah, so Nasdaq, we have this inverse gap right here, this fair value gap getting filled, and then I can't tell exactly which one's market open candle, but I believe there's one in here too. Oh, what the heck? Anyways, yeah, and then we also had some pretty decent market structure for today. For sure on ES, we definitely had our consolidation and then our manipulation leg, and then this is our reversal coming into. Why isn't it letting me do it? This is our reversal leg coming out of London session, and then this is our extension. So really, this is our extension, just this entire leg, but I'm just splitting it up because part of it's in London, part of it's in New York session. So automatically, my bias for the day was extremely bullish. We also have pretty much nothing to the downside. That's also why I wouldn't want to take shorts past these lows, is because we're floating in a 4 hour gap. I don't want to do that. That's stupid. Don't do it. And then automatically there wasn't really a whole lot to the downside. There were decent draws on liquidity, and I believe on ES2. I did not see this at the time, but if we look at let's just look at the 1 minute. We had, I believe, we made equal highs with, yeah, so we had, no, we made, I don't know. My charts are a little bit different. I know I looked at TJR's stream, and he was kind of talking about how these were equal highs right here, and yeah, mine doesn't look like equal highs. I don't know, but overall draws and liquidity were looking good. Also, I do want to show that, I believe it's on the hourly, that another bias for today was the fact that ES had already, sorry, you guys can't see my finger, but I'm pointing it out on the screen, but ES had already swept out these highs and Nasdaq had not. So that was also kind of my bias for today, was possibly after we sweep out these, we could get a trade up into these highs, and that is what I took my trade off of. I'll go over that in a second, but yeah. So bias coming in the day, extremely bullish. I mean, just so even if you look at the charts, this coming into market open looks exactly like a retracement. It honestly looks pretty perfect. And then I believe we had so we had a 5 minute gap right here that got inversed right off of market open. And then if we look at market open, Right off of it, we make an SMT. I honestly did not see this, but I looked at it from somebody else's point of view. I believe it was TJR's. He just had it marked out, so I just kind of marked it out just to get it in my mind. And then we also had, what was this, a 15-minute gap? Yeah, we had this 15-minute gap get filled right off of market open. Here, let me bring it back. We had this 15-minute gap get filled right off of market open on ES, and then we also made an SMT. So automatically coming into this, all I want really for the day is longs up to here, up to these highs, and up to these highs. I don't, I would obviously prefer it on ES, but we literally, at least on my chart, we swept out these highs right away. So that's kind of what was telling me, okay, there's a very low probability that we make an SMT off of just sweeping that far above these highs. So that means we are more than likely going to want to take those highs out on NASDAQ. And that's exactly what my bias was for the day, was just a bullish bias up into these for NASDAQ after seeing that first candle. So really all I wanted was just a retracement. We ended up getting that. We tapped into this gap, but by the time we would be able to enter, it would have been up here. And I mean, this isn't even a trade, trading from there to there and then setting stop loss here. You can't take that. So yeah, automatically there wasn't a trade for me to take. Same thing on ES. There wasn't a trade for me to take. I mean, I would have had to enter off of just this one candle, and to have this whole entire gap below here as well wouldn't have been good. So yeah, there just wasn't enough entries, but the bias was super duper solid. I mean, we were forming gaps, tapping into them, forming gaps, inversing them. I mean, if this candle would have even been here, I probably would have taken this trade because it wouldn't have been horrible. I probably would have just literally, oops. I would have probably just put it at a 1-to-1 like this and just taken it, because I had super strong bias, but we just weren't able to close above that fair value gap, and I'm completely okay with that. I'd rather miss a trade than force something that's going to um, lead me in the wrong direction, I guess. And then if you look at this trade, I did take a trade after. Was it needed? No, it was not. And should I have taken it? No, I shouldn't have. But am I going to learn from it? 100%. And I'm happy to make mistakes because I'm at that point where I know that if I do, I'm going to only learn from them. And also, this is a break even too. So, it doesn't impact me. I think I did, like, when I closed out, it was like minus $20 or something, 20, 30. I don't know exactly. But, yeah, so this was a break even day. But let's go over this trade and kind of why I took it and why I should do better later. So, automatically going into it, these were my draws. We swept those out. I shouldn't be super super wanting more. The only reason why I probably could have taken that trade is if ES hadn't swept out these highs yet, and then it was like super close to, then it would have made sense to take the trade. Or if ES would have barely swept them out, not enough to make an SMT, but enough to tap them, then I probably should have taken that trade. But we didn't end up doing that. Overall, my bias will probably end up playing out, and we'll probably end up taking these eyes out. But obviously, it wasn't a good trade, if you can see. So let's go over kind of why I took it. The reason why I took it was mainly because we were still looking pretty bullish, and if you look at the 15-minute, there really is not much in between here and here. There were these highs, and that is kind of what scared me, and that's kind of also what I didn't really see until after I took the trade. So if we also look, we had this gap. That gap got inverse, and then I basically took it off of this break of structure right here, and then I ended up getting filled like down here in this candle. So automatically, I'm only entering off of like a decently strong bias, but that bias had already gotten completed when we took out these lows. So I was looking for more of a continuation when we didn't really, have super duper strong draws. These were the super duper strong draws. And I knew that, but I think I did get a little bit of FOMO from this for sure. Especially the fact that I missed this trade and I knew exactly what was going to happen. I was super duper confident in us taking these highs out. I really only wanted bullish trades for the day, and that's exactly what we got. But I missed an entry. I mean, I couldn't have entered based on what I want to enter off of. So then I feel like I entered just to enter something on on Nasdaq, and I shouldn't have done that. And I'm glad I can realize that, and I'm glad I can work from that and improve from that. But we formed this gap and then we just kind of messed around in it. Looking at this looked good. The fact that we had, chopped pretty much through this gap and then we got two super strong candles out of it. That looked good from there. But then we got this candle and then we got this candle and then we got um this rejection looking candle, and by this time I was like, okay, we've already swept out these highs, with this leg. This isn't looking very good. It's not. If we really wanted these highs, we would have already taken them. So that's just my kind of sign to just say, all right, we're just gonna get out here. It's better to do that than possibly lose, 300 so dollars. So I ended up just taking out of it. And I think it's completely reasonable. Just the fact that I would have gone break even at these highs. Obviously, it's a super short break even, but it makes sense because we've already developed enough price to where these could be our, like there could be liquidity here, and this could be just a liquidity sweep. And we don't want that because that's obviously, well, clearly it did turn into, a move down. So I think I'm very content with today. Also on ES, or yeah, ES, it wasn't looking bad either. At that point, I believe at the point where I took out, we were looking like this, so we were still also getting rejection candles. And then we also made an SMT too. I don't believe I pointed that out earlier, but we made an SMT, and I don't think I actually realized that while trading. But yeah, made an SMT. Overall, though, I did well with entering. I didn't hesitate. I'm content my trading today. I think there's things I could improve on, and I think that's also something that's super important is the fact that I can realize that and then improve off of it. Honestly, we'll probably come up and take these eyes out. This is looking good now. Maybe I'll enter, but no. Yeah, so draws got taken out. I don't really think there was a trade I could have taken. I know I looked at Jack's trade, and he took, I believe he entered like here, so probably just off of this candle and the fact that we swept these out. I know TJR entered off of literally just this retracement deeper into this 1 minute gap, and I mean, that's enough confluence. It is pretty early in the market open, but seriously though, this was one of the most like clear cut days for I have a very very strong draw of liquidity. So to target, and that's exactly what we did. Let's see. Yeah, we're sweeping these eyes out now probably. Um, but yeah, overall super content with today. I don't know what else to say, I guess, but yeah, wonderful day. Definitely learning from it, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the week brings. But yeah, if you made it this far, probably didn't, but appreciate you, and I love you. Thank you for watching this me blabbering. So yeah, have a wonderful day, and God bless.